Hey, you can't write this stuff. Remember that guy, Kris Kobach, who I mentioned to you recently? He's the guy who stated or leaked, I guess, I don't know what the right phrase is, that the Trump team is indeed working on a plan for mandatory registration to a database of all Muslim immigrants. He's now being considered as potentially Trump's Department of Homeland Security Secretary. Let me say two key words again from that. Homeland Security, okay? Very important position, very sensitive information that he could be dealing with, literally of national security importance. You know how we hear that phrase thrown around? Oh, this has national security implications. The Department of Homeland Security absolutely has national security implications, and you just can't write this stuff. The guy who might be responsible for security of the homeland didn't even know how to walk around with his plan for fighting terror covered maybe in a manila envelope or something. And as you can see in this picture here over my shoulder of Trump meeting with Kris Kobach, he has this piece of paper. And even from this distantly zoomed out view, you see that there's a bunch of writing there. And it turns out that you could very easily zoom in on that and see what the game plan is. And remember, for months, Trump was saying, you know, I'm not going to give the plan away. That's how you let the terrorists win. I'm going to just enact the plan. I'm going to do it. It's all going to happen secretly. It's all going to be great. Well, Kris Kobach, your potential Secretary of Homeland Security, is just walking around with the plans. And it's been exposed. And by the way, we can actually look at what it says. And a few of the items on this piece of paper that Kris Kobach was walking around with, there's a plan to question, quote, high-risk immigrants over their support for Sharia law and the U.S. Constitution. A bullet point says that they will bar the entry of potential terrorists. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's a good idea. Just never let the terrorists come into the country. Why? It's just so simple. The paper that he walked around with calls for an update and reintroduction of the national security entry-exit registration system originally implemented after 9/11. It also mentions, quote, extreme vetting questions for high-risk aliens. And lastly, it suggests, from what we can see from just taking a picture of it, it suggests eliminating Syrian refugee intake or bringing it back down to zero. This would be hilarious if it wasn't so tragic. I mean, ask immigrants whether they support Sharia law. It's sort of silly because it depends both on people telling the truth, and it ignores the fact that people like Kobach don't think that people would tell the truth about that, right? This isn't new, though. There's actually a form called the SF-86 form, which is the questionnaire for national security positions. You can Google this. It's widely available. And it has a question: have you ever knowingly planned to commit any acts of terror? Because as we know, Pat, every terrorist looking to get a security clearance to undermine the United States would just fill out the form, and they would admit if they were planning to commit acts of terror, wouldn't they?
No, they couldn't possibly come up with some sort of alias, an alibi to protect what they're actually out there to do.
And the particularly tragic part is at the bottom of that page, and we can only see a little bit from the picture. There's something there about voter rolls, which is underlined, followed by the word direct, which suggests direct X department to do Y. There's also a line which says direct the Department of Justice, and also a line on this incredibly secret piece of paper that Kris Kobach walked around in broad daylight with, which says draft amendment to national voter ... Talking about something related to voter rolls and the voting process, the fact that the potential Homeland Security Secretary is talking about voting related stuff, Pat, is a big red flag.
Well, to be fair, I mean, this was on a printed out sheet of paper. It wasn't on a private email server.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though this is clearly gross negligence, I don't think that the right wing is going to care so much.
Oh, when I do these stories, it's no longer because I think anybody on the right might care. No, that ship has long sailed, but it's so that we know what the hell is going on here. We will take a break. What a program we have for you today. Warby Parker is offering a free 5-day home try-on to give you the opportunity to check out their glasses. I personally wear Warby Parker glasses when I'm not wearing my contact lenses, and I also started with one of these free at-home try-ons of 5 pairs of glasses. You can get your free home try-on and support the David Pakman Show at warbyparkertrial.com/TDPS. I don't really like going into glasses stores and trying on glasses while the salesperson sort of hovers over me
and I like more than 30 seconds to actually figure out whether I like the glasses. So with the Warby Parker home try-on, I was able to pick 5 pairs that I liked, put them on in the comfort of my own home, pick the one I like the most, and then Warby Parker put my prescription lenses in there for me. A lot of people don't know that the eyeglass industry is controlled by just a few big corporations that keep prices very high, like $300 for prescription glasses high, which is just insane. Warby Parker glasses start at $95. That's what mine cost. And for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need. You can try 5 pairs and see what you like. Check out the at-home trial and support our show by going to warbyparker.com/TDPS. It costs nothing.